It has been quite the 24 hours to be a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. Essentially, around a day ago, I found out from an unofficial Five Nights at Freddy's news account on Instagram that an official tie-in with Roblox, called Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Crew, was planned and is now in its beta stages. A lot of people were quite confused. Some people didn't think it was official. If true, this would be the first official licensed tie-in with an established franchise for the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Not too long afterwards, Striker Entertainment confirmed on its Instagram story that it was in fact true. This was met with some excitement and some stern optimism. A few hours went past and I was thinking, okay, I have never ever touched Roblox before. To me, it's just one huge community that desensitizes children to groomers and low quality games. But it turns out, a few hours later I would begin getting notifications of gameplay footage for Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Crew. And I was quite confused because I thought, since the game was announced in its beta stages, that it would be coming out at some point next year, but no, it had opened in public beta today and people had been playing it for hours. For 3 to 4 hours the game was up, people could freely play it, and it was not in a completed state. It was meant to come out next year, but somebody, as we found out from an official statement from Scott Cawthon himself, took yes to approving a skin as yes, release the game. So for a few hours today, content creators like Dorco and Fusion Gamer, who I'm using the footage of at the moment, were able to fully play this purely, completely unfinished and unintentional release. I took to Reddit, and before Scott Cawthon's statement had even come out, the first post I found out about the game was that they had stolen a fan model for Fredbear on the menu. This is of course very funny and leans into the long-standing issue of quality control, which was brought up a lot yesterday. A lot of people cited examples like the Freddy Files, the Cookbook, the Ultimate Guide, and the Character Encyclopedia, where there were fan models used, and there was a lot of incorrect information in official Five Nights at Freddy's media. A lot of people were willing to look past that. I did. I bought a lot of those books, but people took this, stealing fan models, as the last straw. An interesting thing to notice as well is that this is real, this is true, this is a real game, so this is the first official Five Nights at Freddy's game that has Fredbear in it, as an actual character rather than just the cameo in Ultimate Custom Night. As well as this, there was the famous fan-made Freddy model on the front of every bootleg colouring book that was used in this game for some kind of camera mechanic. As well as that, the game was just incredibly buggy. People liken the launch to Project Playtime and even Fallout 76 I've seen. The game itself is a sort of Dead by Daylight clone where you either play as a security guard or an animatronic and you have different objectives depending on who you play as. Looking through the menu of characters, you can tell it's in its beta, especially with Golden Freddy. It's very, very funny because the game is obviously not completed. Like, obviously Scott was forced to put out an official announcement. I personally don't believe that he and the community are deserving of the amount of hatred that's been going around in the last day or so. It's important to note that some creators, such as Dorco specifically, uploaded their gameplay footage not only after Scott acknowledged that the game wasn't meant to be out at all, but after the game was taken off Roblox and wasn't able to be played at all. One thing's for sure, I'm going to have to break my streak of success, and next year I will finally have to install Roblox just to play this game. But we will see what ends up happening. It might be cancelled, who knows. But that is the story of Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Crew. It was taken down from Roblox after 4 hours. You cannot play it anymore. And Scott has said that he will work on it next year. So we'll see how many fan-made models and elements are removed, how many are added, and we will have an update for that at some point next year.